From London, England, where the Queen lives.
Recorded live from an underground bunker and packaged into an MP3 with a pretty little picture. Helping to kickstart your day with the motivation and inspiration you need 365 days a year. This is the Learn, Develop, Live podcast. And this is your host, Chris Jaggs.
Welcome to the Learn, Develop, Live podcast, another brand new Box Fresh Monday. Thanks for joining me again and spending some of your time with me looking to learn something brand new. Following on from the last few weekly episodes aimed at the job hunt and trying to help you get organised and focused, ready to not only keep the job hunt going, but how to get yourself back in the game if you start to fall off the wagon just a little bit. Now, before we get right into that, can I give a shout out to Jimmy Ivy, the host of the Sexy Cool Lounge podcast, who I recently sat down with and appeared on one of his episodes. Now, it was a great interview and time really did fly by. And I just started to play you the little clip of the intro that he gave me, and I was a bit blown away, if I'm honest. So here's what Jimmy said.
So today I have the pleasure to really vibe with a special guest. He's from the UK, and I've been trying to get him on this show for the longest time, y'all, and it finally has happened. He is a transformational coach. He is someone that you definitely want to connect with if you're trying to level up your vibe, your career, anything that you're trying to get done in your life. This man is somebody that you need to connect with, y'all. So without further ado, please bring a warm listening ear to my special guest and my good friend from the United Kingdom. Please welcome Chris Jaggs into the Sexy Cool Lounge. Chris, brother, how you doing, man?
I told you before, where do I send the check for an intro like that, eh? Where do I send the payment? Damn.
Brother, it's all good, man. I'm just giving it to you energy-wise as the way you give it back, man. So the introduction is just how I feel about the energy that you put out into this universe, man. So no need to thank me, man. I'm just reflecting what you have given out to people, brother. But how you doing?
Now, that was just the intro, and the interview got a lot better, and it was all about why giving up is not an option. Now, thank you, Jimmy, if you're listening, and if you'd like to listen to the episode itself, it is available on Apple Podcast, Spotify, and of course, sexycoollounge.com, where you can hear the rest of Jimmy Ivy's interviews with some incredible people. Go and take a listen and get inspired by his vibe. So let's have those messages and let's get ourselves into this episode.
The Learn, Develop, Live podcast, picking you up. That cup of coffee isn't doing its job.
Start your LDL adventure today and book your free 30-minute LDL power call over at ldlcall.com. It's time to stop whatever is holding you back and start to level up today.
Right then, should we jump in? Now, we've spoken about distractions before, and sadly, they aren't something that's going to go away anytime soon. Well, they're never going to go away. There's always going to be something. I know it's like problem after problem, distractions, constant interruptions, different tones to your phone going off, something new appearing on your phone after you just put it down, and what about in the meeting? You know, the quick text under the table. The mental circuits, well, they start to overload and fry. Frustration starts to take over as you're trying to get everything done on your mental list and finished. But it's not happening today, is it? Like it didn't happen yesterday. And oh wait, wasn't it the same just the day before? Welcome to the modern way that we work now. Now, maybe this is how the work environment is. Maybe your phone rings constantly. Or Frank, you popped down to see you yet again because you can't find that spreadsheet that you've shown him where it is 3 times already this week. Whatever the distraction, the result is the same. You can't focus on anything, and it's starting to affect just how well you do your job. On top of that, studies have shown that it can take an average of 7 minutes or so to really refocus on something after you've been distracted. The problem we all have here is just how crazy it is in our heads. Now, there is so much happening, thoughts, feelings, everything that is going on around you, and the amount of information that you're taking in. And they say you only really remember 150 things on each topic. Now, whether it's people, hobbies, places. Now, considering the amount of information that enters the average person's brain every single day is around, well, it's about 74 gigabytes, which is roughly maybe 16 movies or so. It is no wonder there is a mental traffic jam during rush hour going on in your head. It's also no surprise that sometimes you feel a little bit gridlocked mentally. If you think about all those successes, all those things that didn't quite work out, the emotions they all cause, it's pretty impressive that we are, as a species, haven't gone completely round the loop yet. As humans, we continue to learn every day. We learn how to manage what we create, and because of this, we can always learn how to take back control that we've lost over something. We know how to adapt and, of course, change, and this is how the human race has come so far. When we do get that control back, we are better at managing our attention again and not letting every distraction stop us again. If you'd like to learn how to manage the basics of your attention, this can be done and is a lot easier than you actually think. You need to start with keeping yourself energized. Whatever you do, you're going to need to be fueled up. You and your brain are going to need to take energy to help you focus. We all need this. You know how it works? You know when you're getting tired as the energy levels start to drop. Now, whether this is due to being hungry or maybe the task you have in front of you is actually draining you mentally. Taking a break from the screen is great, especially if you're in an office environment. It's also great to get up and walk about every hour. Now, if you've got a Fitbit watch on, you know it's expecting you to walk at least 250 steps every hour and will even give you a reminder before the time up is for that hour. The energy refocus also takes different forms as well. One of my old managers in retail used to say he's stepping out the business, i.e. quick cigarette break, whereas a more recent boss of mine, they'd just go out for a run at lunchtime. People refocus in different ways, so it's important that you can find the way that works best for you. A really important part of the process needs to be set is the emotion part. The emotion side can have you looked on like a switch. Your own emotional state is the driver for just how good and how strong your focus is, or would be for both of your learning as well as how you shoot well on your performance. It's just how much effort do you want to give this kind of thing? If the work environment that you spend 8 hours a day or so every day, being a part of a bad atmosphere isn't going to set you up very well for success. There may be a level of fear and dread, and this is projected from the bosses above you. Now, this will have a negative effect on you, obviously, no matter how resilient you may be. Now, I consider myself to be, positive person, but positive people can get knocked down by those energy-sapping bosses. I've had one myself. You know the type. You arrive at work early morning, and then the boss arrives. Grumpy, clearly not a morning person, and despite being upbeat and positive, all you get back is grunts, even if you just say hello. Now, no matter how many times this happened, and look, I knew this is exactly how every morning would roll. It always affected me. But it shouldn't have. That's my own learning. It would have put me in a bad mood for the next few hours. And the grumpy one, he decides to all be happy and chatty once he woke up. But of course, I was still in a bad mood, because that's where he put me. Anyways, that is a former life of mine, and the mindset that I later developed was to not let idiots rent space in my head for free. The world is full of idiots, and they shouldn't rule your head for any amount of time. What you should do is surround yourself with positive emotion, and only good results will follow. Fact. Being engaged with what you're doing is definitely one of the most important things here. You have to be interested in what you're doing, and this will help you pay close attention to the detail. Now, there can also be an overlap in these three things when you're in that special place you love working in. The things you love to do, the things you want to excel at, and these are the things that push you and your targets of yourself and your team forward. And this is where all the WIFMs come in. What's in it for me? Find the motivator, love, enjoyment, even payment, and you'll see the mission push forward. The best way for the mission to move forward is to have a structured set of what needs to be achieved. Know where you have the creative freedom to roam and how far without anyone getting overwhelmed and confused, and you will be onto a winner every single time. Structure literally shapes your day, week, the task at hand, and the project. Knowing how best to shape your day, how you spend your time, where lunch is, the priorities, how you do what, the list can go on as deep as you want it to. But the important thing is to remember and to think that without structure, your focus, your team's focus will be impossible, as no one will know what's meant to be happening when And maybe one of the biggest ones is you just won't be on the same page for whatever the mission is you have in front of you. Now with structure, this helps form control. And if you don't use your time, it will be taken away from you. It's simple. Remember how easily a distraction can take you away from what you're doing, especially if you don't have the focus. Take control back with your life. Now the problem is that most people just give away big chunks of time and attention from every single day without even knowing it. There's actually a stat that says most people lose at least 150 minutes every single day just to distractions. That's 2.5 hours a day just gone to nothing, which could have gone to what you're meant to be doing. And of course, it takes an average of 7 minutes to refocus on what you're meant to be doing after every distraction. Now you can see how easy it is that those 2.5 hours can just disappear. The 5 parts we've talked about, the energy, the emotion, the engagement, the structure, and of course, the control. If you put all these together, it will create an amazing plan that will allow you to perform and show your best work, your best attitude, and of course, your best results. Create your plan, customize it to your current situation, keep in mind those 5 parts of the process, and the rest, I promise, really will just fall into place. Okay, that is all from me this episode. If you'd like to dive in a little further, why not activate your free 30-minute Learn, Develop, Live Power Call right now by going to ldlcall.com, find the perfect time slot for you, and let's see what the Learn, Develop, Live method can do for you. Have yourself a great rest of the week, and I'll be back tomorrow with another 1-minute motivator. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.
Motivating your ears. Inspiring your mind. One day at a time. This is the Learn, Develop, Live podcast.
Goodbye.
What? It's over already?
All over.
Thank you for listening to the Learn, Develop, Live podcast. I hope you feel as warm, motivated, and fuzzy inside as I do. You can connect with Chris at LearnDevelopLive.com or on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter.
I won't say goodbye. I'll just say until we meet again.
Until next time, join the motivation. Motivation.